Welcome back to Korvosa Session 5. When last we left, the guards had been rallied and the riots were dying down. Fortunately, none of our properties had been caught in the uproar, so we each had some time to rest before our meeting with the Queen. I went to Luther's funeral. Beaufort got to see his orphans, and Piere skulked around for information. Finally, the appointed day came. It was a great honor, but I couldn't help notice that the palace guard had been dismissed in favor of the Queen's personal grey maidens. In hindsight, no one seemed too comfortable about it. In the end, she just congratulated us, paid us our reward, and asked that we continue our efforts. So we bought some things and headed off to Cressidia to get our next assignment. After the riots, a lot of guards had deserted, so she sent us uptown to hunt down a gang of ex-guardsmen operating out of an abandoned deli called Guy's Exotic Meats. We spent the morning casing the joint and learning what we could. Apparently some guy named Varick had been giving out free food there as a cover for his more illicit activities of his 4 lackeys. We got the secret passcode and resolved to go in that night. Piere, Minerva, and Senna went to talk their way in and try and convince the gang to surrender without a fight. Something must have gone wrong in the negotiation, though, because it had barely been 5 minutes before we heard Senna blowing the signal whistle, and the deli raid was on. The group piled in quickly and overran the gang members. Barely a turn had passed before they were all unconscious or surrendering. Varick came downstairs, and that's when we learned the full story. The gang had been operating behind his back, performing contract killings, then butchering and donating the victims' bodies as food to the poor. Varick was so repulsed that he surrendered immediately. Fortunately, this would be one fight that wouldn't spring any surprise twists on us. Or so we thought. In that moment, Varick's knife turned into an actual snake and bit him. Like lightning, I leapt into action, grabbed the snake, and threw it out the window. Torrin leapt out after to subdue it, and then stuffed it in the ridiculous snake cage Minerva had insisted on carrying for the entire afternoon. As best we could tell, it was the tool of some kind of corruption demon, or maybe a spy from the secret snake government. But either way, it was a gift from a noblewoman. Varick didn't die, so we collected his testimony and brought him and his men in for questioning. What will we do next? Who can really say? Next time on Korvosa 2, Curse of the Trouser Snake.